Hello, welcome back, welcome. It's great to have you to have this conversation. I don't know if you had time to be there earlier, but we already started to have this conversation about training, education. We had some chefs here. It was very interesting to see what's happening in the Saudi landscape. And just probably before we start, I would like just very briefly to give a quick context, who is who. So Shaima, you are the Director of Quality and Review at Vatel Bahrain. Bringing 2 decades of experience in educational quality management. You're going to speak about that. Amer, Miraka, founder of Cookler. It's right over there. You can see it. So a platform that is transforming culinary education through innovative digital solutions. And last but not least, Guillaume Lafay, Sales Development Manager at Valrhona. Right, more familiar brand, so I eat a lot of your chocolate. Right. All right, so we dive into your expertise and to see what's happening. Probably I will start with this. Thank you, Amer, because thanks to Amer, I had the best culinary Saudi experience. He took me to dinner last night. It was amazing. The best food ever. Bravo. Huh? You make good food. All right. Microphone. Shaima, take a mic here too.
Yeah, so
Guillaume?
you can just tell the audience that it was very local, like it
Yes,
was nothing
yes.
fancy. So
I can tell
it was
you
the very local Bukhari restaurant. So
yeah, we were the only non-Saudi in the restaurant, and we had the best food experience ever. And I'm going back. We're going back, right?
with pleasure.
All right. Okay. So let's get back to our topic here. So maybe Shaima, I'll start with you. 20 years of experience in education, quality management. Doesn't seem, huh? You look very young.
This is what I was going to say. I'm still young.
So maybe tell us, how do you perceive education in hospitality and service training program in the Middle East? Give us a flavor of what you're doing.
Over the 20 years?
Not over the 20 years, maybe not. We won't have time, but whatever you, the main highlights, Shaima.
The main highlights. So, hospitality and service industry was established long time ago in this region. However, the focus on it was on the 21st century. So basically what we've done is that through Vatel, which has been established in 2018, which is a project that been brought or opened by the Bahrain Exhibition and Tourism Authority. We did a lot of projects. We did our level best in order to train Bahraini workforce to join this sector, to make awareness or spread awareness about hospitality in Bahrain and in the region. We tried our level best to graduate the best students in this sector to the most important international hotel chain. And I think we did well.
Yeah, very good. Well, good for you. Thank you. And Amer, I was talking about Cookler. You created, you founded it. So it is a platform. So how is it revolutionizing culinary education, and especially when it comes to this region? Mena, tell us more.
Well, thank you very much for this invitation. And if I want to tell regarding Cookler, it all started when I saw the depth of scientific understanding of culinary arts, where I live in France, and I wanted to bring this to my region, to where I belong. And we started actually to propose culinary classes that are focused on science, because we believe at Cookler that if chefs understand the techniques behind transforming ingredients and you practice, then you can become a great chef. We believe that in order to shine, you need to understand. We know that there are several and many people, they teach and learn by reproducing recipes. What we focus on at Cookler, and we created, this is the reason why we exist, is that we like to discover the science behind the culinary creations. And we started to share this passion with people who share this passion too, with the chefs, with passionates, and our growth is spectacular. We are around 6,000 chefs so far in our community.
This is brilliant. You're successful.
Yeah, it's advancing, and honestly, we have our audience here with us, our chefs who came from Kuwait, from Saudi, And what brings us together is that all of us, we love to understand the science. So it was amazing because if I show you here, we understood immediately. I don't know if this is it's our slide. I don't know how to go back. Yeah. We understood those are three photos that you can see for students who started to study online with us. The first photo on the left is their croissant work before learning anything. The photo in the middle is for them after they watched 2 hours of online courses. And the third photo is after they attended an online course. So we saw that people, after they understand, they can really
Of course.
they can really become brilliant, and they can create. And this is how it came to life. This is our story.
All right, thank you for sharing, Amir. We will dig a little bit deeper later on. I will turn to Guillaume maybe right now. Guillaume, Valrhona, we know the brand, but tell us, what are you guys doing? How are you adapting your products to local taste, especially in this area in the Middle East, as while maintaining world-class excellence that you're known for?
I thank you for the question, excellent. Allow me to first thank you, GL Events, to make such a premiumization of exhibition. It shows really that the gastronomy is moving a lot in the region, and especially in Saudi Arabia. It shows also the direction that the country want to take with this high premium gastronomy, and it's a real chance to be with you today on stage. Valrhona, to answer to your question, now Valrhona is existing since more than 100 years, dedicated mainly to B2B. And we have an excellent chance that we are implemented in something like 100 countries all over the world. And most of the chefs, when they open a pastry, when they open a restaurant, their first wish is to work with a premium chocolate and with Valrhona. So, and why this is the first choice for our B2B consumer? It is because since more than 40 years, Valrhona was the first chocolatier to create a chocolate with more than 70%. The Guanara, it is still an iconic recipe that is still a best runner all over the world. Continuing to develop a plantation chocolate in Madagascar, 64% with strong partnership with the planter. Nowadays, we are working with more than 16,000 planters all around the world to define the best aromatic and the best raw material all over the world. Valrhona is buying only 0.16% of the world consumption of chocolate. So we are really haute couture of chocolate. More recently, we developed a fourth category of chocolate with the Dulce, a blonde chocolate, that open new creativity for our chef. And we continue to support the gastronomy all over Michelin, all over strong partnership. Like for GL, we are a partnership of the World Cup, of the Pastry World Cup with GL since the beginning. We are strong partnership with Relais et Dessert all over the world. With I think that our penetration rate for Michelin star restaurants is around 90% with
Nice.
at least one SKU of Valrhona. So we are the first choice of the food premium gastronomy for the chef all around the world. We are proud of it, and we have a team dedicated in Dubai since 2016. Now we count more than 20 people, from the financial control to the marketing, to develop, entertain our customers.
All right, we'll expand a little bit later on that. But getting back to our topic of training and in this the evolution of what's going on in hospitality, maybe what specific challenges do you see, Shaima, as in your position at Vatel Bahrain? What challenges do you see, to uphold the standards in training and hospitality, the service of hospitality professionals? What are the challenges that you're facing today?
So when we talk about Vatel, we're talking about a luxury brand in hospitality. We talk about the first hospitality school in French when it comes to hospitality by subject that has over 45,000 alumni around the world. Many of them are currently hotel managers in the GCC countries and in Bahrain as well. So we're talking about an institution that passed through lots of standards, rules and regulation, passed those rules and regulations, and proved itself in the hospitality market. When I talk about the challenges, especially here in the GCC, it's mainly still the cultural aspects. For some families, not everyone to send their kids to a school like Vettel or other hospitality schools. But this has changed over the last few years. So when you asked me first about my 20 years experience, I would have told you that this was a huge challenge back then. Nowadays, the GCC, I would say, citizens are more open to the subject to send their kids to study at hospitality schools. The other challenge is probably the rules and regulations that we have here. So when it comes to academia, and I'm not sure if we have academia in here, it's a really boring topic. When it comes to academia, we have two streams. We have either training programs that has its own standards, framework, its own regulatory body. And when you talk about academic qualifications and programs like diplomas, bachelor degree, master, executive master, they have a different framework and regulatory body that governs that. Now, this system is well established in Europe. When it comes to Vettel, we find a bit challenge because 2/3 of Vettel's program is based on practical application and internship in the hotels. So we give them the foundation at the campus, few courses here and there in hospitality, in business, and nutrition and so on. But the majority of their time, it's a practical application in the hotel.
So they learn on site.
Exactly. Now, we don't have this framework that governs such a program, not in Bahrain, not in GCC. That's why we're struggling a bit. It is a challenge for us a bit. We offer bachelor degree. We're going to shortly offer a master degree in international hotel management that follows a higher education standards framework in which many of them are not applicable to us.
Right.
We need to move on in something between vocational framework and higher education framework. So I'm not sure if the audience understood what I'm saying. It's a bit tricky.
It will take some time to get there, so, but you're on the right track.
Yes, we are, and we're working in collaboration with the BQA and the Higher Education Council in Bahrain to remove all these struggles and obstacles. Yes.
I feel that there's some enthusiasm there. You're going to get there.
It is. I'm sure we will, yes.
Fantastic. And now, Kokler. So, Amer, tell us, how do students learn? How do, what are the obstacles related to online learning? I mean, it's a different story. Tell us.
Yeah. It's actually completely the inverse of what you just said. Regarding, it's just the complete inverse because we have been 4 years. It has been 4 years while we are testing to see how can we teach students online, and we finally found that we are concentrated on teaching technological theoretical classes. So if you want to talk about chocolate, for example, from Valrhona, we will go to cacao and then explain how this cocoa fruit is produced and how then it's transformed and then how it can be fixed if we overheat it or if we transformed it incorrectly. And we end our mission there. We transfer this knowledge and we let passionate chefs train while they are. So we don't give vocational or in-person training, but most of our chefs in our community, we have executive chefs, we have beginner chefs, we have TV chefs, we have chefs from different areas of the ecosystem. They use our theoretical knowledge to execute in their kitchens. So they don't need to leave their workplace, they don't need to leave their TV shows. TV shows, for example, was something we never planned. And we discovered that several TV chefs, they want to learn more information to tell them to their audience. They feel confident in front of the camera,
yeah.
and they feel informing, and they feel that they are giving information. So this is what they learn from us. So mainly theoretical knowledge and is where our expertise or area of expertise. This is where we stop actually.
All right.
Yeah.
And Guillaume, I'm sure you're listening to them. This must resonate at your level. So this is also important to transmit, to educate about the product so that people understand how they're using it, why they're using it.
Amer tells something that sound to us in the handcraft work. This is a transmission.
Yeah.
We are working for people passionate, where the gestual, where the transmission is really important. And the second thing, where I completely join you, this is about the knowledge. When we are talking about cacao, we organize since now 10 years to entertain our customers and for this knowledge, plantation trip, where we invite customers on a cacao plantation to touch the product, to see what is where it's coming from the tree. How long does it take to create a plantation cacao? It is 5 years investment to have the first record that you can lose in one time with a storm. And making our customer coming, touching, seeing the raw material, it makes sense for our customers, but makes sense all along the chain value for the producer, because you are talking with farmers from Peru, from Madagascar, and to see also what we are doing with the chocolate, that how chocolate is in Fairmont, Riyadh. It is super important to show that from the tree, with their work, we will premiumize a product. This is super important for us, the transmission and knowledge of the gestuelle.
Fantastic. Thank you, Guillaume, for sharing that. I was wondering, I mean, the hospitality industry has been here forever, and it's not new, right? But the practice in the industry, is it evolving to the new needs when you look at how we consume, hospitality and gastronomy, and all of that is evolving. How is Vatel in Bahrain, where the programs, how are they adapting, to the changing needs of the industry in the region? Are you doing things on that front?
Definitely, like any other institution, we do this. Probably I need to introduce Vatel more. We have over 50 campuses in more than 33 countries around the world, in all continents, almost all continents. So what happens usually is that the management of these campuses meet on a regular basis annually. They bring into the table the best practices they are doing in their own campuses, plus the relationship with the hospitality sector and their partners. And with the partners, I mean hotels and F&B restaurants within that region. They bring all these expertise on table, and based on the best practices and the feedback that we receive, the program gets evolved and it gets, every time updated. So basically, it depends on whatever the industry and whatever the market of the hospitality needs, including into what the innovation, the recent technology, the emerging trends, sustainability, ecosystem, being environmental friendly, coming up with customized individual experience for the guest who comes into the hotel is something else that they consider. So different things.
Fantastic.
And definitely it's evolving over time. It's not the same program over and over again.
And I think I will ask you the similar question, Amer, is how are you adapting, Kukla adapting its webinars and training in respect to, the cultural nuances while, offering high standard education. So how are you doing that?
Well, first of all, our classes are in Arabic.
Nice.
So for our students who are in the audience here who listen, we have a French teacher who is teaching, but at the same time, in every course, we have an Arabic translator. Sometimes I translate myself. And so the information or the transmission, what we discussed just now.
You don't need to speak French to be a good chef now.
I speak so, but the audience doesn't, most of them. So, so this transmission needs to be done in the native language. This is number one. Second, it's related to the when the local students get empowered with knowledge about products, about how to choose products, about how to transform products. Uh, for example, if we will take chicken as an example or butter, we will give the students the knowledge on how to select those products that they can find locally. I will give you an example for flour. When we first came here, students kept telling us that our flour doesn't work, we cannot make croissant, we need to buy French flour, we need to import, it doesn't exist. However, once they understand that if you know the force or the gluten percentage, the protein percentage in a flour, if you know its percentage, they could use the flour they have already. So it's very local, even to the ingredient level. So they get the science, they understand, then they apply it to the products they have. So they use local products, they learn in their local language, and they're happy.
Oh, brilliant. So
Yeah.
this is great. And Guillaume, at Valrona's level, how are you working with local chefs, and pastry chefs, and to promote excellence and, in the use of your products?
We have an incredible chance um, that there is a new generation full of talented chefs wanted to reinvent the gastronomy with solid basic. Since 89, the first École du Grand Chocolat was created from Valrhona. It was the first école dedicated to chocolate. Now we opened the fifth school of the world in Dubai in September, and it is dedicated to the new technical based on research and development to be specialized in chocolate. In this time also, we observe that there are a lot of game changer with a lot of opportunity because the new generation is asking some new questions. How do we, as company, as consumer, CSR, what are you doing for the planet? What are you doing to help the planet going better? Valrhona is a certificate B Corp to ensure an entire fair play value chain. Then they are also about footprint carbon. What are we doing as company to be as less as possible sustainable in the world? So there are plenty of game changer with this new generation that we need to answer. And it is also a lot of opportunity to reinvent the gastronomy, to accompany them, to trust this generation because they've got a lot of talent, a lot of idea, and a lot of creativity.
That's great, and we need to promote that. And that's also maybe one of the reasons why you're here, also, Amir, is also to be using these platforms to promote chefs.
Yeah, this is what we do. What we do is we empower chefs. So we empower them with science, with knowledge. We empower them by talking with reputable distributors and producers like Valrhona and others to get special prices, get more knowledge and education from them. We also collaborate with other culinary schools, maybe for the practical part, but mainly what we do, we love chefs, we like to empower them, and this is our DNA.
All right. And Shaima, maybe this, when we look at what's happening here in Saudi, we see the government is very proactive and really, very active in the field to promote the culture, to promote the chefs. And are there initiatives similar in Bahrain? Like, I know there was a reform in 2008 of the education project.
That's a very old reform.
Right? So there's still work to be done on that field.
Yes. So there was a wave that hit GCC in the early 2000s, in which all the countries started to develop the economic vision 2030, especially in Bahrain and in Saudi. As a consequences for that economic vision, a reform happened in Bahrain back in 2008. But the focus of this reform back then was on IT, the introduction of innovation and technology, and how to embed this in different sectors, different fields to make things easier for customers, for clients, for guests, and so on. But when we talk about the reform nowadays and hospitality and service industry, it's basically about taking care of the customer themselves. What happens is that as a result or end of the way for what happened in 2008, as I said, the government of Bahrain represented and the Bahrain Exhibition and Tourism Authority introduced Vatel so that we can contribute to the hospitality sector. We can contribute to it by training more Bahraini citizen in order to fill the jobs and the workforce needed in the hospitality and service sector. So this is what we've basically been doing through diversifying the skills, training them with different practical skills that they need to know about. Again, let me give you a very simple example. As I said before, that 2/3 of the program is practical application. So basically, we take the students and we rotate them in the hotel so that they can take a flavor of what are the different services being provided by the hotel, starting from the front desk, F&B, room service, back desk, and so on. This happens usually at the first year, but later on, when the students find themselves, for example, in culinary, they ask us to do all their internship and practical application in this stream so that they can become chefs later on. And the same applies to other services of the hotel itself. So although it's an international business school for hotel management,
Right.
again, the students can select their own streams and they can work in different industry, starting from aviation to hospitals to schools to different places.
Right. I'm looking at the time. We have 3 minutes left. Maybe one final round of questions for all of you. And I'm turning to Guillaume. Maybe Guillaume, you tell us a little bit about Valrhona's objective in this region, EMEA region, for the coming years in terms of expansion, collaboration in gastronomy, hospitality. We're speaking about the future. Tell us.
Of course, ambition of Valrhona section is to continue to be the choice number one of the premium gastronomy in the pastry. Second ambition is to continue to transmit with the knowledge around 40 chefs around the world dedicated to our customers. We want also to be engaged in a sustainable gastronomy, in a regenerative gastronomy, and also as a regenerative companies that will be sustainable in the next years. We want to continue to support our chef with our loyalty program, which make a chef community all around GCC, but more globally all around the world, to entertain them around a special event with special experiential moments with the brands. And we want to continue to give this creativity to the chef, to give them the opportunity to explain a modern world with the future of the gastronomy.
Thank you, Guillaume. And Amaya, maybe let's talk about the future. What are the next steps for Cookler, in its expansion into its digital culinary education?
Yeah, well, actually, what we see, I see the future is for chefs, and more specifically, I see that the future of education is more as a continuous education that is over a long time. So we see that we learn in communities. So we see that chefs will continue to learn and evolve when they have a community-style learning that dures over a long time, where chefs exchange techniques, knowledge, and for sure execution and trying practically in their kitchens is an important part. But we believe peer learning is the future of learning for chefs. We believe also of the feasibility and the easiness by learning online, because you can learn anytime, anywhere.
Of course.
At the same time, we believe that learning is something that we do all of our lives. It's not one period of our life that we just learn and then we got the
Lifelong
knowledge,
learning, yeah.
life knowledge. We believe in lifelong learning, and this is what we work for. We work for growing our community, growing the learning duration so that it's continuous and that is adaptive with the future. In the future, there will be new techniques.
Right.
So as long as we accompany learning, we believe that with the community, with the solidarity, we can reach to another level of creativity.
Right. And final question, Chaima, for you is, what skills do you see as being the most crucial, for future service professionals in this globalized market?
Uh,
Tough one.
the tough one. Okay. Now we have a group of skills, a number of skills. We usually call it the employability skills for our students, and they are embedded within the qualification itself. If we want them to be employed in the sector, it's really important for them to master a number of skills, like communication, teamwork, because in hospitality, they will not work alone. They will work in a team. The human element is really important. So communication, teamwork, problem solving, being, in constant interaction with the guests will expose them to different problems. So they have to be problem solver and innovators when it comes to culinary, for example,
Right.
coming up with new concepts. So these are the bunch of skills that we teach them, and we think that they are very crucial, and industry needs them a lot. We call them the employability skills. that they need to have.
Fantastic. It was amazing to have this conversation with you. All the best to all three of you. Thank you very much. You can give them a huge round of applause. Thank you so much.